What's going on, guys? Tuesday night, Comic News Weekly, of course, 9 p.m. Eastern each and every week. Also available on demand. I say on demand. You can watch it on the replay, or you can also listen to the audio podcast. Simple Man's Comics, wherever audio podcasts are found. We have a great show for you tonight. We have also the return of Dan Comics himself. We have some people also coming in late, but we're going to get this show started. We have some technical difficulties coming out of the gate, so we apologize for being a couple minutes late tonight. But with that being said, we're going to talk about new comic book heroes versus nostalgia. We are talking about 50 Cent bringing a comic book to live action. We're going to talk a little bit about that great Peacemaker finale, so spoiler alert on that. And we have a new first appearance coming up in Miles Morales Spider-Man number 38. So some great topics. We're going to get into those in just a minute. But before we do, let's bring the panelists in here. I mentioned him at the top of the show. We have Mr. Dan Kim, Dan Comics himself, back from the West Coast.
What up? Good to be back. Yeah, I just got back from my expedition on the West Coast. I
hanging with Kanye.
Saw Kanye, got stuck in a room with Kanye at some point. That happened. Did the Heimlich on somebody at Venice Beach. But also horrible things happened. It was a whirlwind. But now I'm back, and I'm excited. I'm ready to make some content.
Yeah, from your messages, I thought for a minute there you're going to be living on Venice Beach.
Yeah, it's pretty grimy over there these days.
Yeah. We also have Brian McClay's here. He'll be in just a minute. He had to step away. We also have Ryan Hayslip, who joined us last week. He'll be joining us in just a second. But we do have Mr. Alberto Jefe, button pusher, dad joke sayer, producer, and owner of his own Comic Man Andy YouTube channel. What's up, buddy?
What's good, guys? Here to push your buttons. Happy Tuesday. Let's do this.
No dad jokes for tonight?
No. That is the dad joke.
Yeah. We got people coming into the chat. Want to say hi to the regulars. Mitch Joel is here each every week. We got Doom, great friend of the channel. Always glad to see him in here. GT Key Comics and other people roll into the chat. Marvel Man Comics. There's also a guy named Comic Man Andy in there who's controlling the bot traffic. We get the bot traffic coming. Last week it was strippers. Who knows what we'll get this week? But we're going to kick off the topics tonight. This one I found very, very interesting because we talk about this a lot on this channel where, hey, we got Ryan Hayslip, as I just squirreled.
Surprise. Bam.
Yeah. From that Rhinoverse Facebook group, right?
Yes, sir. Rhinoverse, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. I got Twitch.
Yeah.
Rhinoverse all over the verse.
Yeah, tickety tock tock.
I'm in Dan's verse. He didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all.
I'm gonna get a smile out of him some way.
Talking about dad jokes, and we know you're a dad as well, and it's that time of evening where everyone's trying to put kids down, get kids done from schoolwork and all that stuff. So appreciate everyone joining us. But like I was getting ready to say, this first topic we're going to talk about, we discuss a lot on this channel, especially myself. Comic book collection is nostalgia driven. So I found this article to be very interesting. And it talks about, I'm trying to put it in the chat too. Oh, the damn thing's too long. But new characters versus nostalgia and why it is hard for new characters to have a hard time succeeding within superhero comics. Interesting article. It talks about how a lot of people want new characters, but they're also stuck with being with what they know, what they're familiar with, and that nostalgia that drives them. This is specifically for superhero comics, where within this article, they say, hey, part of it is you don't have enough time to make those new characters familiar for those people to latch on to, because a lot of superhero comics they succeed by sales. And if they're not selling the books like they want to, they end up giving up on them before they have time to get familiar with them. One of the ones that they also talked about was that people want that feeling of continuity. That's why they like the Superman, but people don't like when they change up their Superman. Denny O'Neil also says in this article, I'm trying to find a shorter link for it, but that was when he was an editor, that was his thing. He was always trying to find the balance between what was familiar and what was new. And they talk about how people are rooted in an audience need for reassurance and comfort, and they also relate it to TV and movie and people, the way we're getting TV shows getting rebooted all the time, movies getting rebooted all the time. But I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on here. We don't seem to have that problem. I think it's easier for new characters to get introduced in creator owned or indie books. One, because they don't have to rely on sales figures as much as it seems like the big two, DC and Marvel. If they don't sell, man, they're canceled within 12 issues. A lot of times we see it, or they go digital only. Creator owned, I think, is that sweet spot where you can introduce those new characters. But I know, Andy, you wanted to say something, so I'll let you go first.
Dude, this is like, this writer, I feel like, hasn't read anything besides Marvel and DC, because new superheroes, has this person never read an indie book? What about Image? What about, Radiant Black? There's plenty of new superheroes out there that gain traction in indie titles and creator-owned titles like you're talking about. Why is this writer relegating this discussion to just Marvel and DC? Marvel and DC, sure, are well known for their superhero stories, but like you said, whether it's trying to stay in continuity or stay within the fan base's love for a character, they're kind of pigeonholing themselves into a certain way of doing things, or a certain way of maintaining or treading water. But the indie side of things was vastly overlooked in this article. Like, I don't even understand why they didn't even talk about a lot of these titles that have been doing really well as far as superheroes in indie reads. Because granted, yeah, I see the point from if you just look at Marvel and DC, but that just seems like, defeats the point to just only talk about Marvel and DC when you talk about superheroes.
Yeah, they said, meanwhile, you have creator-owned book out there that is something new and interesting, and there's space for that genre. Customers say, "Oh, I'll spend my $2.99 or $3.99 getting something different, but I don't need another superhero book. I already read those." So they're also saying that, hey, try to get that familiarity with the character. We all know it, man. Any given Wednesday, there's how many comics being released right now? I think there's somewhat of a market saturation. I think also that's, if you're introducing a new character, especially within the big two, there's got to be marketing behind it. But we also get, how many new characters do we get in the big two all the time that are just like a 2-issue arc and they're gone?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There's been a lot of new characters that have been like doing pretty well, like Yara Flor and Toshin, right, from Black Panther. It's been huge, right? New character. So I'm not really exactly sure what this article is about necessarily. You definitely have to build new characters for 20 years later, because nostalgia is like a 25-year thing, right? It's like every 25-year cycle. So anything now is going to be nostalgia 25 years from now. So go, buy up whatever. And also indie titles, I do understand the thing about how indie titles are harder to latch onto in superhero universes, because they don't have necessarily the infrastructure to keep going. You don't know if it's worth investing your time
Look
and
at
energy.
Black Hammer.
Yeah, Black Hammer.
I mean,
yeah.
it's got its cult following, but it doesn't have anywhere. And to me, it's just as good as half the other superhero books.
It's a weird. I think part of it is they're just not really expanding the market. I think they're just still selling to the same set of consumers, and they're not really. I don't know. They're not thinking in the future. I don't know. I just find the comic book industry is really not evolving fast enough.
I think I am nostalgia driven, but I think it's also a cheap excuse for lack of creativity.
Well, one of the things I was thinking on, like when they're creating new characters, or try to come up with new characters, they're always trying to capitalize on what is popular of another character. And it sometimes seems repetitious. Like when you see a new character, like, oh, that's just a ripoff of so-and-so character. To me, it looks like, it's like they're like, oh, this over here was cool, that was popular, or that look, or that thing is popular. So they'll try to develop a character around that same exact, instead of trying to be really creative out of the box, like what's a brand new looking idea, thought of a character.
And I think that's what that article tries to touch on, is they're scared to change it too much because they want to stick with what people are familiar with.
Yeah, and like for me, I get like, I collect Venom, and that's the character I like. But I see a lot of things that because of Venom's popularity, that you're like, it tries to tap me on the shoulder, I guess, to come check it out. But I'm like, no, I already have that. It's almost like you're trying to be a poser. I already like something that's like that. If I'm gonna like something, I want something that's completely different. I don't want
But
to. I'm not gonna, even
yeah,
though I relate to that.
I think a lot of that familiarity is also what gets you sick of some comics. I mean, we've talked about it on this channel before. I mean, look at just the regular Amazing Spider-Man. It's hard to stay into the regular Amazing Spider-Man because it's the stories have been told 1,000 different times, and then every now and then you get like a good arc or a good reader. They did bring up a good example in that article about the creation of Bucky Barnes as Winter Soldier. Sometimes a good story can help propel that character and make people fall in love with him, getting familiar with him, and like him. But I mean, really, Ed Brubaker, if his name's attached to it, I'm usually buying it regardless, just because of the stories that he writes, especially if it's him and Steve Epting. So, I mean,
Yeah, they're the way the character looks, and that's going to be initially what they're trying to pull, and they're looking at what I think the newer they're trying to see. I think they see an influx of new people willing to go to the comic shop because there's all these comic book movies and whatnot. So there's like, I'll go there. So they're trying to have something that's going to catch that person's eye, so that they can be like, oh, well, then maybe they'll start getting our book, and especially indies, a lot of times that they're doing it. Well, you don't really see that many superheroes. It's mostly like, I mean, it's 50-50 really, but they're really trying to capture the eye of the new fan that's coming in that said, like, I don't know where to start. Where do I start reading Thor at? Where do I start reading Hulk at? Oh, this thing looks kind of cool, and it's kind of similar to, I'll read that instead.
Yeah. Walt Simonson's run is a great place to start reading Thor. And I'm a huge fan of Jason Aaron. Just saying. But
I think Case is a huge fan of Jason Aaron too, because it seems like there's been a couple of times he's done things off of what he's did.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows Cates right now.
Well, Cates, yeah, but I'm saying he's a lot of stuff that he's writing. It's off of something that Aaron has written.
Yeah, I still love Redneck. What to me is one of Donny Cates' best books.
And it kind of is a little bit on par with Southern Bastards, right?
Yes.
And Jason Aaron, like you were
Jason
saying,
Aaron,
Brian.
Jason the Tor.
Yeah. Kate's looking at Jason Aaron going.
I mean, the Thor stuff, the Null is off of Jason Aaron's back.
Yep.
And then there's another thing from something else that he did that is like off of like Jason Aaron as well. I think it's something from the Hulk or something along.
You're saying he's like the John Gruden of comics, just comes into a successful team. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah.
But watch what the emails, damn it.
So that does get out. But yeah, go ahead.
There's some new characters that catch on very quickly, but for the most part, people poo-poo new characters, right? All the time. They just
Speaking of poo-poo, it's glad to have you back, Brian.
Thank you, brother. Oh man, it was a tough one, man. Let me tell you. Man.
It was a growler.
Yeah, it was a growler. Yeah.
Wipe your brow. No.
Yeah.
Lucky brow. Yeah. Woo! Shing.
Well, it's funny because the first topic we're talking about the last topic we can talk about it a little more as well, because we're going to talk about a new character that's being introduced in upcoming Miles Morales. But
yeah, what is that new character?
Spider Smasher.
Mm.
It just sounds cool, don't it?
Ooh, it tells us something else.
The boss with the boss comment right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people judge books by the cover because a lot of people just look at the cover and don't read the books.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard somebody talking the other day, basically talking about how the prevalence in selling your comic sales and apps and speculation and all this stuff is for the first time in a long time, they've said, it's starting to hurt the industry, right? Because exactly that. People are just, they don't care about anything other than what people say. Oh, this is going to be a hot book and go get it and this and that. And it's they could see it starting to take that turn where in the past they would always say, no, it's still good for the industry. It's still good. But it's starting to take that turn where it's like, could we see some issues coming down the line? And I don't know, man. I'm kind of up in the air on that. I don't know what to believe anymore on that side, There's a lot. The speculation world it's super volatile, man, and it pushes a lot of those bad tendencies, aka buying, just because of what's on the cover, never reading books, not, it's just based on the next flip, that type of stuff. So it's a weird playground to play in.
That kind of stuff is what makes it, when you have deep seated a fandom or a like for something, and that's what keeps you in. It's this real thin, just like the cover, a cover fan, I guess. Really, is that's the ones you really have to worry about, because they're not gonna. It's not gonna. Can't build.
I don't think we're back to the 90s yet.
Yeah, great George Perez sketch, Doom.
Yeah. But that's the one thing, that's kind of how I avoid FOMO now, is I stick to my swim lane. Like I buy what I read, and if it's outside of my swim lane, I don't buy it, just because one, I don't have the room for half that crap, man. I got no room for extra books outside of what I want to read now. So if I buy stuff and then it catches that speculation drift, I'm like, hey, if I have it in trade and I can read it anytime I want, I let the floppies go. But I don't have enough time to chase the spec and be the speculator. But I think everyone has that within their collection hobby. I think that's just a natural progression. Some people like to stay in there, and it's like, hey, I like being flipped Wednesday Warrior, whatever. But I don't have the energy to do it, for one. So
also, I'm coming to find a problem that I'm starting to get in my selling and my buying and everything to do with collecting comics is, how you said you stay in your lane and you just need to get rid of the rest of the shit. Well, I'm the same way, but because I'm so deep in that speculation community, I'm like, I can't sell it unless I get this much. You know what I mean? In the back of my head. And I'm like, I got to get away from that. I just need to get rid of this stuff.
Dollar auctions and just let it go, man.
Yeah, think of inventory. Like if it's taking up space and it's taking up money.
Yeah.
That's,
wife said my swim lane must be pretty wide. Well, yeah. Have you seen the freaking size of me? I can't swim in no small ass swim lane.
I same way. I said right in my, I'm very much like, I do only Venom. I don't even go to Carnage. I don't go to and talk about new characters. They're coming up with a new symbiote thing every month or so. It's like something new from the symbiote world happening. And it's like, because it's like, that's where they're trying to, I don't know, they can feel like they can do whatever. And that's going to ruin that whole area too.
And Darth brings up a good point. Like, everyone wants credit and wants to give credit. And it's funny, the spec guys taking each other's content, which it's always seemed to be that way, but everyone wants to boast on their successes. No one wants to admit when they're wrong. And a lot of times, a lot of people are wrong more than they're right.
It's another reason why I'm so vocal, and maybe you guys have seen this on other shows with me, and I know some people don't like it, but I'm so vocal about the statement that when I can't stand people that always say, oh, I was the first to spec on this, I was the first. Like, I hate that more than anything, because it breeds that type of stuff of favoritism and I need credit for stuff and all that stuff. And first of all, you probably weren't the first person to spec on that. You know what I mean? You know who's the first person to spec on it? The fucking writer, the artist. You know what I mean? Those are the first person to find that spec or whatever. Like, I think the idea of going on somewhere, some type of social media platform or YouTube, and going, hey, we were the first to do this, so we need some type of medal or a cookie or something, is just really, really negative to me. It's got a negative road.
And it seems like you talk about the first person to spec was the writer or the artist, whatever. Cates is like trying to like brew this, like he does everything he can to try to make spec market volatile for whatever with this comics.
I think he just solicits his books, which is what, as a creator, I think is to be expected.
He sells his books for sure. I mean, yeah, he's in one way. He
Shit,
does.
man! Remember Venom? He drew people out for like at least 15 issues on Venom. Everyone was Dylan Brock.
Yeah, of course I know, but I've watched it. I've seen like this what he tried, and it's like, okay,
Venom's not even any good.
what's
Right?
that?
Venom just like a shit comic, isn't it, Ryan?
I don't agree with that.
I'm just fucking with you.
Oh,
Okay.
He's like,
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
you poop mouth.
You stink poop.
I mean, that's why they keep making new volumes. You know, every year is a new volume because no one buys it unless it's in the issue 1 or first appearance. So they're like trying to make all these new characters just to make first appearances, just to sell for the speckers. Because they are actually, I hear a lot of owners talk about like, yeah, issue 2 is just dead. It's always like dead issue 2, issue 3. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what to do. They lament that there aren't readers.
It seems like Kate's the one that he always tried to do it in the 2 and 3 numbers, not in the number 1s and whatnot, because that's his thing, like you were saying. But yeah,
Well, he also knows that one of the biggest money makers, and it's the spine of the comic industry, is the back issue part, right? And what Cates is doing is he's making us go look through those back issues and spending money, which in all reality is a good thing. Like it's a real good thing.
And I know Fred Bruno said that, eBay sales are sucking right now and inflation sucks. But if you are a seller, there's probably going to be an uptick here soon because people going to start getting that tax refund cash. I don't think I am, but there will be some. But
it would be nice.
Watch.
Yeah. But speaking of being wide and in my swim lane, 50 Cent. I talked about him at the halftime show, the Super Bowl. We got some news coming out of 50 Cent. He's all up in that production stuff, right, Dan?
Yes. So 50 Cent and his production company G Unit has optioned the series 0 X. It starts with an X. Written by Christopher Priest for DC Comics, and it's about a CIA agent who's sort of like half dead, half alive, and his brother helps keep him alive. But he also impersonates a white guy as his alter ego to get around like being a spy and all that. I actually read a couple of issues of the series to get the gist of it and why it might be interesting. And I guess that's the angle. It's he's gonna play. I guess. I mean, to remove that, I don't know why they would remove that, but yeah, he's gonna be like, it's gonna be 50 Cent playing a white guy, blonde white guy superhero, and then because in order to navigate into the super echelons of rich people or whatever, to be like James Bond, he has to be. I think that's sort of what they're going for. I don't know, because the comic is kind of old, right? So it's kind of an old property, so it's a little surprising that it came out now. But I guess it's got politics, racial politics involved. I'm guessing that's why they want to make this.
Yeah, and the rights reverted back to Christopher Priest back in 2008. So Warner Brothers has no tie into this project.
I'm already.
And I'm wondering what did the article? I don't see where the article said what platform it's gonna be on, right?
I don't think
this is a feature. I think they're trying to. Well, I don't know actually.
A live action film with an Ion franchise.
Yeah. So I don't. To me, it seems like a perfect place for it would be a streaming network. I will tell you, I'm a huge fan of that whole Power universe he's got going on Stars right now, between regular Power, between Raising Kanan, Power 2, Ghost, and then the new one with Tommy Egan, Force. That whole, I love it. I watch it every Sunday, but I don't know about this one. That's why I wanted, if it shows up on a streaming platform, then I'll probably definitely watch it. Because I've been hooked into pretty much every damn streaming app there is in order to watch like soccer or something.
Right.
I think I'm probably almost spending as much as when I cut the cord for DirecTV.
No, you're not spending more now. That's what I'm trying to find out too.
Well, the interesting thing is 50 Cent doing this to actually play in it, or is he just doing it to make
don't know.
money? Like, hopefully he's doing it just to make money, so we don't see 50 Cent look like a moron. You know?
Yeah, he's kind of,
Maybe
isn't he?
exactly.
I feel like he's a little old for this part.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
but-
think he's probably just producing it.
Yeah.
Didn't
Hopefully.
we already see him look like an idiot a couple weeks ago?
I thought he did good. I didn't think he looked like an idiot. I don't know why everybody was giving him shit. Like,
He's
you know what I mean?
huge.
Plus, you got,
Yeah, he wasn't
that guy's got
fat.
so many projects. You don't know.
He wasn't not fat.
He could be
Really?
gaining weight for
I thought he was
something. He
fat.
could be. He's,
Really? Did he look fat in that? Let me take a look.
The first thing out of my mouth when I saw that was, that's not 50 Cent, that's $1.
But
Oh, and Christopher Priest is a great writer. The opening starts on a submarine, which was pretty interesting. And Christopher Priest, he did a lot of the Black Panther stuff, right? Like a lot of the new characters that are in the movies that really popped off. But I think he's also working on the project too, so he's not dissociated from the project. That's a good idea, I think.
yeah, and they're looking to make it a franchise. Not
That's
just
not
one
fat.
movie.
That dude's fucking not fat at all. What are you talking about? Quit
Why?
fat shaming a dude that's not even fat. I take offense
Yeah.
to that.
I was gonna
He's
say
just wide.
he's in power. He looked just bulked up to me. Now me, I'm fat.
Yeah, maybe his arms aren't as defined, but dude, look at his traps. Like he
It's
doesn't
like
got a
that
big
one
belly.
meme that was out there. Is like y'all laughing
true.
like you the same size when that song came out too.
Yeah.
I mean, he did have 3 months to work out. I think before. How long do they know about this? Way in advance.
Well,
Some people was like hitting the gym.
well, and he probably looked bigger if he was standing next to that midget Kendrick Lamar.
That's terrible.
I mean, that was him back in the day, and that's him now. I mean, yeah, he's a little bit bigger, but he's not.
The
mean,
dude's
it's
what,
fat.
like
Hey.
45.
Yeah, he's old,
He's older
man.
than
Plus,
that.
he ran out of vitamin water.
Yeah, he made all the money off of vitamin water.
And he's the one laughing to the bank.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments. You know, does this seem like a project you guys are interested in? I'm definitely interested to watch it. Because I want the Cliff's Notes version. I probably won't go back and read the comic book. That's just me being honest.
It'll be animated, huh? Yeah, I guess so.
I said live action.
Oh,
Turtle Man.
Am I the only one that's slightly concerned about this idea? Because I'll be honest and cut right to the chase. The other side of this coin, the mirror image, is not appropriate.
Yeah.
So I was really excited when I saw this. I'm like, okay, this could be really cool. And then I got to that one line that it said that they were going to be basically, you know, I'll just read it verbatim just to be safe so I don't mix it up. But film will follow a black government assassin who weaponized invisibility to disguise himself as a white man to blend anonymously into the exotic casino rail haunts. So the concerning side of this project is that if you look at the other side of this coin, that side of the coin's not appropriate, but this side is. And I don't know how to talk and
You say
address
appropriate.
this.
You're talking about cultural appropriation.
Okay, thank you, because I don't know. I vernacular and terminology escapes me.
We've
James,
already
that's why I'm
got this
glad-
story,
What-
though. We had Michael Jackson.
There is a bit of a difference, though. I mean,
Sammy
because
Sosa.
I guess the other way around is about powerful people playing powerless people, and this is about powerless person playing a powerful person. Like, so I mean, that's the difference. So it's not a perfect, flip.
Well, see, this is why I bring this up, because you guys are educating me and the audience, because I don't know.
And there's a huge like casino submarine set piece. Like if I was a producer, I would play with that set piece. There's like, it's all about this like submarine with illegal gambling, and he infiltrates it, and it sounds like that's part of the plot, though. So I guess that'll probably be a set
That's what-
piece.
For me, I can't speak for anyone else, but my opinion, when it comes to entertainment, as long as I'm entertained, I don't
Yeah.
care about all that other stuff. It's going to be talked about regardless, one side or the other. But if it's entertaining and it's for the story, it doesn't bother me none.
That, and it'll probably expose a lot of hypocrites. So I'm all for that.
Well, yeah. So I'm not.
Face off. I love it.
I bring it up as to the health of the future of that potential adventure or venture into putting money into that is you know what I mean? That's kind of why I bring that up and ask that
I mean, because
question.
they used to do this in the movies all the time, and no one had a problem with it. And it just recently is such a
There's a lot of
it's
things
such
they
a
used
powder
to do.
keg. It gets frustrating. I understand the point that you're making, but I
You know,
mean,
this makes me
you
think
ever see
of
the '80s
Tenet.
movie Soul Man, where the guy took tanning pills? The white guy
Yeah.
took tanning pills,
Yeah,
and they're too tan, and they thought he was black, and he went through the movie like,
you,
no,
you
we're not
guys
talking-
what? You guys watch Tenet, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That sounds
Okay. Oh, you didn't watch it? Okay, so Tenet is happening, right? But they never addressed the fact that the lead character is black, actually, and how this would, in fact, probably deeply
It's
affect his
Denzel's
whole
son, isn't it?
mission. Yeah, but I'm just saying, in the world of the movie, like,
Yeah.
they don't even address it at all. So,
Yeah.
and that's a little weird too, because no, it's not gonna go that smooth. Like, it's just not. That's not how everyone's gonna notice. These like European elites are gonna be like, oh, this black guy. Who is this black guy? Like, but they didn't. I don't know. It's an interesting question.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm excited to see it. And
I think if they make it like The Raid, where you just go in that submarine, and then you gotta be white, you gotta turn white and black, and make it fun like a game through the submarine as you're killing people. It could be gotta make it fun,
that's what Doom's same with me, man. I love white chicks. Great movie.
Yeah.
The Wayans brothers, man. They made some of the best movies.
Wasn't that
I forget the name of the actor that played Soul Man, but
wasn't that
what he was
Shri-
in he was in Outsiders, right? One of the actors from Outsiders.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out right now.
One of those actors.
C. Thomas Howell?
Yeah. That's what I was gonna yep. Stay gold, pony boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Good movies, good acting, scripts instead of a lesson every time. Just I wanna be Russell Crowe.
Entertained.
It's like Lego movie, man. It can be done. Just gotta do it right.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna have a race switching power, like
But
Well,
and we speak
gotta be
about
funny.
that. But one of the shows that was just awesome that just finished up on HBO Max threw all that stuff to the side and didn't give a shit and touched all those things. It probably pissed people off, but it was funny as hell. We're talking about Peacemaker, and there's some cool stuff in that finale, right, McClay?
yeah. Everybody
Spoiler
loved-
alert, by the way.
Yeah, definitely spoiler alert. But everybody has been talking about Peacemaker since the series first started. It's been absolutely hilarious. I think that it's funny, speaking about where we were just talking about, like, you add humor into something and it kind of takes the edge off that whole, world that we were just talking about. And, Peacemaker was kind of something that everybody can just laugh at and enjoy and this and that. And on top of it, it had all of us fanboys geeking out because there were so many fanboy moments. And one of the biggest ones was the finale, where you got to see that Peacemaker sees the 4 Justice League members instead of 6 Justice League members. As you can see, it's Superman, Aquaman, Flash, and Wonder Woman. No Batman, no Cyborg, which is very interesting. Because they did hire people to play those roles. As you can see here is the actor that they hired to play the Batman role, and they show him. He shows pictures of him in the tactical suit that he filmed the scene in, and also you can see here the actors that were the stand-ins for all the other roles, which is pretty. How
Except
cool
for
would it be?
Momoa and they actually had Momoa and Ezra Miller, right?
Yeah, they actually had Momoa and Ezra Miller. Yep. As the stand-in.
And Peacemaker told him go fuck a fish.
Yeah.
You're late.
So that was just great stuff. Again, James Gunn killing it. On top of, just to get into our world again, there was a Peacemaker comic, a raw Peacemaker comic sold for some ridiculous amount this last week on eBay. So the show is it's causing gains in the comic book world, and everybody's just loving it. It kind of reminds me of when The Boys came out, right? And Preacher started coming out, and that type of stuff. But it's been a lot of fun, but the question is still there. The question to be asked is why was Batman and Cyborg not there? And DC, nobody said. Nobody has any idea.
James Gunn kind of hints in that article down towards the bottom, like, without saying it, but not confirming it, possible future stuff coming up or.
Goo.
Yeah, Raw, Peacemaker #1, 1967 Charlton book, $2,000 on 38 bids. So, but yeah, what did James Gunn say here?
Like if you scroll down towards the bottom,
it says it's not. Oh, I don't know what I can. There are reasons for their absences, but I'm actually uncertain whether I can say what those reasons are. I might have to do with future stuff. So there we go. It says it is not clear as to what Gunn was partly referring to, but Robert Pattinson will headline the Batman, and Matt Reeves coming out in less than 2 weeks. Cyborg, meanwhile, was played in Justice League by Ray Fisher, who, after making numerous allegations about his mistreatment during the production, has said he would not participate in any future project under DC Films President Walter Hamada. So there you go. It would have been so much better. It would have been so much better if they were there.
Well, we all know why Green Arrow wasn't there, because he's a brony. If you haven't watched Peacemaker yet, sorry to spoil that part for you, but definitely go back and watch it. I mean,
lots of fanboy moments.
I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. I really look forward to watching it, though.
Yeah, it is good now because you can just binge it through, and there's extra blooper scenes at the end of each episode, and then there's companion podcasts you can watch afterwards.
I had zero interest in checking it out, but everyone seems to really enjoy it, so I want to check it out.
Oh, it's great, especially if you liked Cena's character in the Suicide Squad. It's like turned up to 10 in the show.
Awesome.
Yeah,
but I mean, Vigilante is just great.
Yeah, Vigilante was such a good part of that movie that now we're talking about future stuff. So
I like that idea that they're tied up. Like Brian Adams said, they're off world or something to that effect. That in the timelines they're busy doing something and it's going to come together in the future.
Yeah, it's just like Thor was right during some of the MCU movies.
I think it was marketing publicity, basically. I mean, because the Batman is coming out and they don't want people to get confused, and they want everyone to focus on Robert Pattinson Batman, so they don't want any confusion at all right before the lead up. And Ray Fisher burned all his bridges with WB hardcore. I mean, whether he's right or not, he definitely burned the bridges. So, and Walter Hamada's the boss, and it's like, whether it's right or wrong, I think that's kind of what happened. And they're probably gonna recast Cyborg hardcore as revenge later anyway.
Yeah.
What is that? Explain that. What do you mean by that? They're gonna recast him as revenge to Ray Fisher?
I'm sure they're like ready to recast Cyborg and just kind of like
move on.
Yeah, move on. And yes, they really want to move on. I mean, it's embarrassing for everyone. And Jeff Jones,
just like
Jeff
Joss
Jones
Whedon
too, right? Jeff Johns also got in trouble for that, or whatever. He's embroiled in all of it. So
well, he just went back to DC, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but they just want everyone to forget about that whole thing. I think, and anytime you see Cyborg, you look it up, you're gonna find the whole Ray Fisher thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Why can't they bring in the guy? You remember how they had a different guy play Cyborg in Doom Patrol? That was so weird. That was weird.
Well, it's such a low-tech version of Cyborg in that show. I don't think that would, because it is still the Zack Snyder-esque Justice League there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
did you guys see where there's more movement on people wanting the Ayers cut now?
Yeah, especially with all that Eastwood news coming out lately.
Yeah.
What?
So be interesting to see what happens with that if the Ayers cut ever does show up, because there's like 45 more minutes that at least
Then Harley's wedding dress, and I wonder if some of that's like purposely leaked by Warner Brothers though to build
I think it is.
some excitement.
Movie.
Yeah, I think it is, man.
Yeah.
If that's not great, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah. He because he directed the Tank movie with Brad Pitt and Shia LaBeouf, and
He
that
makes
movie
good
was great.
movies,
Yeah.
Fury.
Yeah. So
but
that's why I always said it seems like those Warner Brothers executives get their hands in the editing room or something and just mess movies up. Because when you saw the actual Zack Snyder cut,
It wasn't
Justice
bad.
League, way better movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. It was way better. It's crazy how the difference in the editing compared to the two movies can bring such a different feeling over the whole movie.
Yeah. Ezra Miller still stunk in it, but hopefully he's better in his own standalone movie.
So that's the guy playing the Flash, right?
Yeah.
So I saw something on this, but why did the guy from the show play it?
Oh, Grant Gustin or what?
Yeah,
I
Grant
like him
Gustin.
better as the Flash, but I don't think they're trying to combine CW and what was DCEU. But DCEU right now seems like it's kind of reestablishing its footing.
Yeah.
It's been
Those
a
were
reception
all-
forever. It seems like.
they were all Zack Snyder's picks of superhumanly beautiful people that he wants to play superheroes. You know, like that. It was his roster. He picked. You know, it wasn't all these other creators are taking over now, but that was Zack Snyder's roster. He wanted to pick model-looking people.
I did like Ben Affleck as Batman,
So did I.
I did too.
especially as Bruce Wayne, but as Batman too. But he was perfect Bruce Wayne.
He'd say he was over that character. He wouldn't do that. He said.
I think DC's like letting the auteurs take over attitude, like kind of hands on, not like Marvel. Marvel's like all in there.
Yeah.
When they do that with Joker, Peacemaker, certain projects, they can really, they're showing quite a lot of success. And Aquaman, right? That was also just let the creator do their thing.
Well,
Leave
and
him
then James
alone.
Gunn said he's going back to TV after Guardians 3. He's not doing movies anymore. He's going to do strictly TV.
Yeah,
Really?
a lot more fun.
Yeah. And he just got engaged to Harcourt, the actress's name. What's her name? Holland. The person who plays Harcourt in Peacemaker.
Smart man.
I thought Suicide Squad was should have been a TV series actually. Just like the
Yeah.
way it was set up, I was like, man, this could have been stretched out into a TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James Gunn, I tend to like the movies that he makes. It's like the humor speaks to me. It's action and humor, and it's funny. Like Guardians of the Galaxy is like some of my favorite Marvel movies, and the Suicide Squad is probably my favorite DC movie.
He needs to make Wonder Twins.
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy, the video game, is freaking awesome.
I want to play that. I've been contemplating getting some type of console, but can
I
you
think
play
it's
it
got-
on? Can you play it on
You
PC?
Play it on PS4, Xbox.
I don't know
It doesn't
about.
have to be the new consoles.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's probably I almost like that game. I think more than I like the Spider-Man game.
Yeah,
for sure. It's it's way underrated. No one even picked it up. So you haven't picked it up and played it. It's well worth. I was happy that I spent the $60 whatever on that game. It was good.
Yeah. I haven't played it yet. My 8-year-old loves it.
It's just fun, man.
I don't play video games, but I watch documentaries about video games all day long,
Yeah.
even though I don't play at all.
It sounds fun too.
I have a
Okay.
hobby of buying video games and not playing them because I never have time.
Well, just save them for the auction, 30 years later.
Well, now I just
Yeah.
buy digital. That way my kids can't scratch up the discs or.
No, you want those
Lose
for
it
the
or-
nostalgia later.
Yeah. Everybody's making money off them now.
You're gonna ruin the industry by buying digital, just like the people who buy digital comics.
Easy money.
Yeah, that's what they said. That's what the 8-track fans said
That's
when the
what they
CD,
say, yeah.
when the cassette
Beta,
was
yeah.
introduced.
Wait, if they NFT all the digital comics, then dun dun dun.
Yeah, that too.
With 1,000 print run, you know, or something. Oh, that'd be horrible.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, Ryan, you brought up Spider-Man. The last topic we got. El Beardo, we got a new character coming up, Miles Morales, right?
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting story this week. Spider-Man's newest foe is Miles Morales' answer to some classic villains. Marvel's recent cover reveal for Miles Morales Spider-Man 38 teased the arrival of a new nemesis for Miles called the Spider Smasher. Apparently a cyborg of some sort, the character seems to take inspiration for both their name and look from the classic foes belonging to Peter Parker and the Spider Slayers. The Spider Slayer first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man number 25 by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, manifestation of John J. Jameson hatred for Spider-Man. He backed its creation so that he could pilot it against the hero. As time went on, the scientist behind the robot, Spencer Smythe, and his son All-Star toyed with the creation to create bigger and better Spider Slayers. Well, this is pretty interesting because as you guys have talked about earlier today, the villains and some of the tertiary characters in the Miles Morales storyline seem to be more detailed, in depth. They seem to be going a little bit harder to the paint here. So I'm kind of curious on where you guys sit with this, because I failed, and this series hit kind of the cutting block for me, and I have not been able to keep up with it. I'm only like halfway through it. I'm only like halfway caught up. So I'm wondering if you guys are there with this one.
Yeah, I'm like an arc behind myself, but it's still one that I have in my pull list. And I tend to like Miles Morales from a reading standpoint better than the Amazing Spider-Man. I know the regular Amazing Spider-Man's caught on a little bit, especially with Ben Reilly and everything. And you brought up a good point, because it even says in the article where Spider-Man has an 80-year history. A lot of villains had little nuance. Many of them were meant for a short adventure that a child could pick up and comprehend within a single volume, where Miles, however, serves up more complex villains, with even the cover itself questioning whether Spider Smasher is friend or foe. The picture that they have in that article of this character, I've been playing some Destiny later. It kind of reminds me of characters in Destiny, but that's a cool looking character. I'm interested. I want to get caught up now so I can this comes out May 4th, right? Miles Morales Spider-Man 38. So it'll be interesting to see what this character does, and I want to get caught up on the story arc so I can read it.
I'm right there with you before we move over to Dank next, because it comes out May the 4th. So that's got a long, hard
Star
shadow.
Wars.
Yeah, it's got a long, hard shadow to tread through. So this could be an overlooked new character. And I like the tidbit back and forth a little bit about it. Is this a full cyborg, or is this somebody in an augmented suit? There was kind of a back and forth about that question. But Dank Man, where are you at with this?
This character looks like a lot of characters. Like, there was a villain in Black Widow just introduced that looks just like this character. There was a villain introduced in Catwoman recently, within the last 6 months, that looks just like this character. Something about this tech with the bug eye, multi-eye thing. It's kind of a cliche. Is this Miles Morales' consciousness in a body? Is this a cyber? Is it Fennec? Is it really Fennec out of Book of Boba Fett? We don't know, but I don't know. I'm actually not that excited. They keep saying, like, let's make things analogous to Spider-Man. I thought we were trying to, do something fresh, but they're just kind of here's the Miles.
Yeah, it goes back to that's the first topic we talked about tonight, right? Is it how new is it? Is it novelty enough, or is it a mix of novelty and what people are familiar with to where they're not going to care? But then also, to me, I always wonder, is it going to be a 3-arc toss away character, or is it someone that's going to have lasting power?
I mean, Cyborg Spider-Man, right? We haven't gotten a Cyborg Spider-Man storyline, right? I guess. So maybe it's a Cyborg Spider-Man. That's kind of new, right? Is that new?
C-3PO Spider-Man.
I'm with you on that one, Dank. I think this is cheesy looking. I think I feel like the
The hood too.
concept
They
of-
all have a hood too.
yeah,
With the
yeah.
eyes. It's the same Evan.
And I don't care. I this is a character that when they talk about him and the cyborg and the robot tech and all, it's like I'm over this.
I can see some. It just seems like you see someone who sees like give it like a robot face, and then throw one of those like those hoodies on it. Hey, and the kids all running around in them hoodies. Put them hoodies on it too. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, it does seem to be following some trends with younger generations.
But at least the character looks post-racial.
Huh?
It just
does that
just
mean?
looks like a robot.
There
I
is
don't
no
know.
race.
Oh,
It's a
yeah, there's no
robot.
race.
Yeah,
Neutral.
post-racial. Yeah.
Trying to get a rise out of people.
Woken robot.
I'm not that smart.
Not broken. Woken.
Yeah.
I
His
mean, there's
name
a-
is Woken.
Yeah, but there's so many characters that look just like his character. It's really.
It feels cheesy, man.
I'm gonna have a box of just those characters. Like first appearances of multi-eyed, hooded
You're just gonna
technology.
hold you like this. I have it all right here.
From the year 2020 to 2022.
I mean, it does scream like a Destiny ad with a Spider-Man logo on the chest.
Just to throw devil's advocate out there, Spider-Man has a whole gallery of villains. Miles Morales doesn't have that many.
Mm-hmm.
Could this be something that might have lasting power to be? We don't even know if it is a villain.
Exactly.
But I'm just, if it turns out to be, they got to build that catalog of villains for Miles at some point.
I guarantee you that's his best friend. It's a girl under there, and you thought I was a guy the whole time. Shame on you. Shame.
Yeah.
Look at that Abyss character out of Batman right now, right? It kind of looks like this character a little bit with the hood.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it's a girl. It's a female.
Oh, I even did a comic with the character with a hood, the lead character.
You even have a hood right now.
Yeah, I'm wearing a hood now.
You're the Spider Smasher.
You don't have it up, but it's there. And your glasses could be bug eyes. Dang, you're that character.
That's where you've been.
That's where you've been.
Yeah.
Caught him.
I'm actually white.
Genius. And I'm actually a cyborg.
That's
That's
funny.
funny.
That was good.
But yeah, I mean, we got it coming in the chat. Let us know in the comments in the chat. This is a character that appeals to you guys, or you can pre-order it. Their pre-orders up right now if you were something you're interested in. Pre-order, get that discount. I know TFAW has it for $279. I haven't seen what variants or what exists for it. Again, this comes out May 4th. I'm keeping it on my pool list. I'm excited. I need to get caught up on this storyline, and then we'll see when it comes out, and we can revisit it then.
Does that link you sent McClay have ties to this topic at the moment, or is that for later?
What link did I send? I didn't send
private
I
chat?
sent you the TFAW pre-order.
Oh
link
yeah.
in the private chat.
Do you want that pulled up now?
You can show the regular cover for it.
So that's issue 38.
Yeah.
What are those like little flies in the sky?
Isn't Billy supposed to be coming back now too? Right?
Oh, Billy.
So there's also a scroll variant.
Well,
and then Marvel's soliciting it. Who is the Spider Smasher? Are they friend or foe?
Are they girl or boy?
Interesting to see. Probably nothing.
I think it'll still be worth reading.
Well, I'm not definitely reading it, but it's just like, and that's why I put this topic as the last topic, because concern the first topic we talked about is how hard it is for new characters within superhero comics, and that's why it'd be interesting to see how it goes.
Yes, sir.
But that comes out May 4th, but we all know tomorrow is New Comic Book Day. So what are you guys picking up tomorrow? Dan, what's on your list?
Well, actually, I'm really looking forward to Orphan and the Five Beasts issue 4. The series is excellent. It's drawn with so much enthusiasm and love of the craft, and it hasn't been coming out super regularly, so there's been these kind of gaps between issues. However, this is such a worthwhile series.
Who's putting it out?
Dark Horse, actually.
Dark Horse, okay.
And then I guess I'm just gonna pick another one though too. And Step by Bloody Step from Image,
Yes.
which I think looks very good, very promising.
Yeah, it looks like giant robot, right?
Gigantor. It's more like Gigantor. Instead of because we've been getting the giant robot, like people as giant robot, Voltron kind of thing, and
Yeah, a lot of kaiju
whatever
stuff.
Ultron. But this is more Gigantor and like a little person, boy in a robot, giant Iron Giant kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
Iron Giant was what I was thinking of.
I think those stories are a little. They're not as played out right now because everyone's doing the giant monster robot shit
Kaiju,
too.
post-apocalyptic.
Man, it just
like the
went
James
from
Herron
nothing to
cover.
everybody's doing it.
James
Anyway.
Herron did a cover for it that I like. It just kind of fits that whole talking about kaiju, the ultra mega. And there's a Jacques cover too.
It's very Tezuka, Osama Tezuka or whatever that guy. That It's very. I feel it's very inspired by that Japanese guy.
That's a crazy Jock cover. That's a
Yeah, it doesn't seem like very Jacques.
Jock-ish. Jock-itch. Jock-ish.
Boom! Tough acting tonight.
Moment of
Here's
There's
silence.
the
James
James
Herron.
Herron cover.
Moment of silence. For
Like it's
Matt.
nothing. It's like James Herron.
Good stuff.
You any more? Or you?
No, those are the big ones. I mean, there's keys and stuff, but I'm sure you guys all have other picks. There, you know,
What was the first book you said?
Orphan and the Five Beasts.
Where is that? Am I missing that?
It's there on the
Right
left. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just man, it's truly like loving
writing that?
comics. James Stocco or something, but
Wow.
you
That's
cannot. Every
good.
page is like tons of detail, tons of love of the craft. It's
Jeff Darrow style.
it's a comic creator's comic, kind of. Yeah.
That cover is dope.
Oh, the series is excellent. I can't wait for the trade. I'm gonna be buying the trade for a lot of people. It's like over the top, ultra violent, ridiculous, absurdist. It's great.
Oh, there's no
Number
variants
one.
or anything.
Yeah, no variants either.
Oh wow! Look at number 1. Beautiful.
Oh man, you guys never read it? You never heard
No.
of this?
Nope.
Uh-uh.
Oh, it's been so much fun. That guy's named Thunder Thighs, and he like explodes your body between his thighs. He catches you between his thighs, and
It looks like
See?
Zangief.
Yeah,
That's a-
Zingy from Bad Guy.
I used to know.
All right.
Ryan, what are you getting?
So I was looking because I couldn't. I guess there is a Carnage Forever coming out, but I don't know if I'm gonna hit that up or not. If Venom's in it, then I will. They got a bunch of covers coming out for that. I think there's a comic box coming out for that as well.
There's
a
a Del Auto.
short box.
Mm.
Oh wow, yeah, that's cool.
Looks like we just saw that a few months ago.
Yeah,
I
we
was
did.
gonna say-
Those things are looking the same.
Well, I'm sure that's not new art.
Yeah, that's and then they have some second prints of Venom 2 and 3. I thought they had already come out, but apparently they come out this week. And there's a Hulk second print as well. But as far as anything like Silver Surfer Rebirth,
Mm.
to getting that and checking that, see what the number 2 that one's about. There's a couple cool covers on that too. Rebirth. There's like a right down the second row. You're about to come to it. That's a homage cover. And then there's like a green
X Gwen. None of these are so stupid because I don't see Gwen here. All I see is Polaris, right? Like, I don't know why they did these covers.
They're also doing like Carnage covers throughout the week too.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
That looks cool right there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think Silver Surfer is one of my favorite. I mean, he is one of my favorite characters. I think he's so cool.
Ooh, this is an exclusive, but it's badass.
Oh, the old 80s Star
Yeah.
Marvel frame.
The photo variants, or not photo variants, but the frame.
25th anniversary variants. Yeah.
Cool.
Love it. It's got the Kirby dots and crackle behind it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Very good. Cool.
Yep.
Well, you got any more?
That's it.
I've got a couple. I've got the best one by far that everybody should pick up, the Pimp Daddy Destro G.I. Joe 289 John Jang variant. It is an exclusive, but it is freaking awesome.
Was it East Side Comics or something like that?
Yeah, and then there is a Zerdy Clan McDonald exclusive of Baroness that's nice, and then there's also a Krill Reppin variant for Baroness that's really nice.
The Zerdy one reminds me a lot of the Art Germ and Hughes. Art Germ did one that's very similar to that.
Yeah,
Dang, that's cool.
Yeah, the John Jiang Pimp Daddy Destro is so awesome. They call it Big Daddy Destro, obviously, but and then there's this Deathstroke Inc. #6 cover by for me, just all around cover by.
I like the Ivan Tao cover as well. That one right there.
The cardstock, yeah, that's nice.
Whoa.
There's a lot of Destro stuff going on this week. There's this book, there's the Robin book that he's big part of, and then there's the Joker one where he gets the Joker serum. So, but then there's a Souza Micah 1 in 25 cover C for Catwoman 40. That's really nice. And then finally, Strange Academy 16, which is awesome, just regular cover. That's such a cool cover.
I saw Teen Titans Academy's ending.
Yep, and they revealed who Red X was.
Yeah.
You want to know who it is?
It's Brick.
It's fucking Brick. Who's Brick?
Mm.
Brick.
But there's a second Red X too.
Yeah, what the hell is going on, dude? It's so weird. And then we find out like Brick may be like
Nightwing's
Grayson's son, like,
but he's not Nightwing's son. And then you gotta find out who lied to him.
Yeah, like, so weird. Like DC is just like, it's so weird how messed up DC is, where they can take a character like Red X and you're already set up, like they put the ball on a tee for them with that character being Damien, right? And they couldn't even hit that ball. They couldn't even hit a ball on a tee. It's like, Jesus Christ. So, anyways, what about you, Andy?
Oh boy, if you guys had to take a long shot of a guess here, Saga 56 is out tomorrow. And this heartbreaking cover here. Spoilers for anybody that hasn't read. This is quite the heartbreaking cover. Very interested to see what goes down here. I know there was some spoilers thrown around a little bit on social media somewhere. I think there was like a preview. I stayed far. Oh, no. If you subscribe to Brian K. Vaughn's Substack, the giraffe one, I forget exactly what it's called. They actually put out a little bit of a spoiler, and I made sure to stay far away from it. So those of you out there that have seen this might know more than me at the moment, but this will be the book that I will read. I will walk right up to the shelf, and I will stand in my LCS and read it at the shelf, and then I'll buy it.
Looks like a
and then I'll read it
States
again
video
in my truck. Then I'll read it again when I get home. And this is a series that I'll buy a couple copies and try to continue to work on a graded run of this for the personal collection. And I don't feel like it's going to be hard finding copies. 55 was very plentiful. 56 is going to be pretty plentiful. I'm looking forward to it. That's the
Anything
only
else?
book I'm solely focused on. This Berserker's out tomorrow. I'm excited to read that too, but my main focus is on Saga.
Yeah,
Has it been everything you wanted it to be?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Saga
can see
is
LCS is having an end cap of this issue, and for good reason. It's a great read.
I'm sorry, that's cool, dude. That it's something that you dig that much, and it's like it's when it's that good.
This makes me wish I had Wednesdays off again. Like back in the day, I was able to go to my LCS when they first opened up at 10 o'clock. This is that issue that's going to be out every month that makes me wish I had that day off.
I can tell you what it's like not to have that happen.
Venom.
Yeah, years ago when I had a job that wasn't as busy, I would take like a 2-hour lunch and go to the comic book store, get my books, go next door, eat pizza, come back. It's like, as long as I'm back before our 2 o'clock team lead meeting, I'm good. Those days are
Nice.
long gone.
Yeah, the good old days.
Good old days. Just a mean and no harm.
Yeah. You got anything, Brian?
Yeah, most of mine. I mean, you guys brought up a lot of great books. A lot of mine are reader picks. Of course, one of the big ones tomorrow is Ghost Rider #1.
Mhm.
Yes.
Lot of great covers for that. So if you like covers, there's definitely plenty to pick from.
Really
I like
like
just the
the-
regular cover A myself.
Holy
yeah,
crap.
the cover A is beautiful, man. Awesome. There's something
You weren't
supposed to
kidding, there's a lot
weird
of
happen
covers.
with Johnny Blaze in this, so
Yeah, they're like it's like changing them up. Or
this one's really cool too.
Yeah.
The Scotty Young one is really
I do like the
cool.
Scotty Young one. I'm not a big baby
Yes.
variant, but
Yes.
Oh, I
Awesome.
wish I had one
Surprised
of those.
that Crane, for the style that he likes to do, I'm surprised he doesn't do like 1,000 covers of this.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
wish he would
wait,
start doing it that way.
McClay, right there in the middle. Up two more.
the blinds.
I
This
think
one's
that's an
cool.
homage of a 90s cover from Ghost Rider.
It's cool.
It is a homage of some type, yeah, or a movie.
A Spider-Man, there's a Spider-Man cover like that. Did you see this one? The Ultimate Comics exclusive, another
Ooh, so this is a theme with Marvel this month.
Well, those exclusives, yeah.
yeah.
Another reader pick image book. Still liking Two Moons, so I'm gonna
Oh,
pick up the new Two Moons tomorrow.
sticking to that.
I like war, history, and horror. So that's been a good read for me. Some great covers on that one too.
Issue 10 already. Wow.
And then cover picks. I still love what Adam Hughes, the cover A is on Black Widow, new Black Widow tomorrow.
Same with
But
Elektra.
that's what I was getting to next was that Black, White, and Blood #2, that negative space Adam Hughes. To me, that's a gorgeous cover. But
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
I'm still waiting for that heavy metal drummer to come out too. You know, that never came out.
The what?
Heavy Metal Drummer, the Behemoth.
It still hasn't come out?
No.
Jesus.
Oh, that was supposed to be last week, wasn't it?
And the week
And this
before.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I called Brian trying to find it. So now I got my LCS has it hooked up. So
Oh, that sucks, man. Everybody's waiting for it too, man. They're missing their chance.
Yeah, it's gonna be Black Mask all over.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So
So, yeah.
interesting.
Some great books tomorrow. Where are you guys picking up? Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments. I have not been able to hit New Comic Book Day on a Wednesday though for like a month. I usually get there like Saturday. But Third Eye Comics, they hold all my books for me, so I'm grateful for that. So, that's just going to leave us with one more thing. One more thing. Ryan O said that he got Heavy Metal Drummer last week. Must be a
Really? Yeah,
Houston thing. Supply issue. I don't know.
huh. I tried to look. I mean, they said they still haven't got them in. They said there's supposed to come in a week or so. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, we'll get you a copy somehow. Somehow, some way. Just stay alive. We'll find you.
Oh, thank you. I will.
But one more thing, Dan, welcome back. What do you got for us?
Did I mention a book club thing weeks ago? Did I mention that? Okay, so I'm gonna start like a broke ass book club because I haven't been buying comics at all for a while. I'm really broke now, so instead we're gonna go on Hoopla and like pick a series to follow, and we can all read it at once and talk about it. Have like a book club through Hoopla. Just stuff we can read for free that's available to everyone and still is supporting the industry when you do this, because there is money changing hands when because you're paying taxes, local government's paying subsidies to pay for that, and blah 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 blah. So it's still a way to support it without any money, and I hope you'll join me. And I'm also gonna start preaching comics, explaining certain principles of life through comic book characters and tropes. Like how Batman is the creation of a demigod by Bruce Wayne, and how we can all create demigods ourselves. We just have to understand what they're for and why they exist. Stuff like that, and like how to navigate social settings like Clark Kent does instead of Superman. Like
Oh yeah, just put on glasses. No one knows who the hell you are.
but you got to be disarming too and ask good questions. Focus on questions more than just showing off who you. Because if you're whatever, blah 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 blah. But yeah, a bunch of stuff, and like the difference between heroes and villains, exactly like the one fundamental difference but otherwise they're like the kind of the same people, same story, stuff like that. Examining life, culture, and philosophy through comic book characters.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
can't go wrong with Hoopla.
yeah, Hoopla, yeah.
El Beardo.
Ooh, hey. My one more thing this week is it coming up Star Wars weekend on Whatnot. And this is going to be fantastic. So many amazing sellers out there selling just Star Wars books on Whatnot. I'm so excited to be included on this Star Wars weekend. I'm over the moon, and this is going to be a ton of fun. Just search Star Wars weekend on the Whatnot app, and you're going to find a plethora of sellers out there that are having a Star Wars blast this weekend. It's going to be fun. It's a whole formatted thing through Whatnot, and it looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. There's going to be a ton of great Star Wars books coming out of the woodworks, and hoping to find a few books for my own PC as well, as long as taking all of our doubles and our extras and putting them out there. And we're making it an affordable Whatnot sale this Friday, 9 p.m. on the Whatnot app, Comic Man Andy. It's going to be all dollar starts, and I'm trying to make it so that every book that goes up is a key, a Star Wars key. So I'm really looking forward to that. Every time we go on there, it's a ton of fun. It's going to be high energy. It's going to be a blast. So don't miss out. Like we said, search Star Wars weekend on Whatnot and search Comic Man Andy and hit that bookmark button.
Star Wars keys are great.
Ryan.
All right, so this is something pretty cool that I got gifted last week from my friend Jesse James over at Jesse James Comics. I got my Do You Poo Binge Bar 1000th episode variant exclusive, 1 of 1.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was cool enough to put Tales from the Flip Side on it and have it specifically printed for me, which is very cool. Shout out to the Gator Guard people. I finally found a new use for my Gator Guard comic. Make sure to go check out Gator Guards on IG. But not only did he give me that, he gave me another Do You Poo #1, a Tigumverse, Tales from the Flip Side 101.
Nice.
So
Ooh.
very cool to get both of these. Shout out to Marat Michaels and Jesse James Comics. Make sure you guys are following the Binge Bar on Facebook. Just go search Binge Bar and you'll find where Jesse, that's where he sells all of his books and where all the crazy collections you guys see me
Binge
going
bar
through.
made me want like an old fashioned or something.
Exactly. That's the whole point, right? So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then I have one more thing. TGIF, thank God it's Friday on Whatnot, starts at 5 p.m. Eastern. We have 6 sellers in 6 hours. Starts with JJ's Comics and Art, then Wanted Comics, then Big Clutch at Comics Vault Live, then Big Leg, then me, then Hive. We all got crazy cool stuff for an hour each. Come check us out. Dual streamed live on Flipside that runs right into the Hot Comics show.
Rhinoverse.
If you haven't seen old Andy or this Brian out on their whatnot night days, you should see them because it's like firecracker Andy up here. He turns into he's all giddy and looks like a little school kid coming out talky and high energy.
He
like
puts his beard in ponytails.
He does 2 of them and paints
Pigtails, yeah.
and puts them in his
pigtails.
nose.
Is what I meant.
But I'm looking forward. Next week, I'm going to go check out the Batman. I haven't. I've only really seen Spider-Man at the movies since all this stuff. So that'd be my next opportunity to see another movie. I'm gonna check out the Batman. I did it full on with the like seats that move. It's not
like 4D stuff.
Not 4D. It's a different thing. You can actually adjust how sensitive it is. You can make it not move at all to make it go full force if you want to. And it's all the sound and whatnot. And that was what I wanted to see Spider-Man, but I couldn't at the time because I think one of my kids went in the hospital or something. But hopefully that doesn't happen next week. But I'm looking forward to see what that's about. I don't know much about this particular one. I know I've heard some about the actor. I've kind of went dark on it, went black on it because I just don't want to like hear stuff before I go in and check it out, so that I have it, see what it's all about. Because Batman to me, when I was a kid, when I saw the one with Joker, Jack Nicholson was a Joker, that was one of my favorite movies of all time. Like from when I was a kid, I loved that movie. Like, Nicholson like started. That's where you kind of saw like acting really, really come to life for me. It was like
what got me into comics.
Character, huh?
That was like my introduction into like the big 2 comics outside of Archie.
Yeah. And so, I've always liked the Batman movies, and for whatever reason, I haven't seen many of them in the theater. So I'm really excited to go see this one actually in the theater.
I'll tell you what else you should see in the theater was Uncharted. Last week I said I was going to see it. Took the kids. Great movie. If you're a fan of, if you played the video game and liked it, then you'll love the movie. But if you're a fan of like National Treasure, Indiana Jones, those type movies, you definitely like Uncharted. Tom Holland. Definitely knew a blockbuster. I mean, he's the new It guy, man. And then I haven't seen a Mark Wahlberg movie that I haven't liked either. So, but
awesome.
And Destiny 2, the Witch Queen, the Witch Queen. Hopefully, you get to play that. Yeah, the Witch Cream. It's like witch hazel.
Gross. Yucky.
It's been a long day, but yeah, make sure you guys check out again Andy and Brian McClay. Again, Comic Man Andy's going to be selling Star Trek comics. So, I'm kidding.
Nice.
Star Trek.
It's Star Wars. But, either way,
all pre-Kelvin.
You guys checking us out. Appreciate everyone in the live chat. Appreciate everyone watching this on the replay, and of course, those listening to that audio podcast. Thank you so much. We will see you guys again next week. With that being said, this is Brian Silverman's Comics. See you guys in the next video.
Look. They talking like they don't know a king when they see one. See him in person, he take it back like a refund. Ballin' with my brothers, all my playing D1. Daily checking chicken, he gon' spin and watch it.